Hi, I'm Christy, and today I'm going to show you how to make an easy overnight no-knead sourdough bread. So this is Sheila, my sourdough starter, and I gave her a name because when I took a sourdough class, my instructors suggested that we all name our sourdough starter so that somebody in the family doesn't see this bubbling brewing thing in the fridge and throw them out. So I usually feed Sheila anywhere between 3 and 6 hours before I'm going to use her. And what I feed her is a 1/3 cup of flour, white, whole wheat, a mix of the two, or if I'm feeling lazy, just one or the other, and a little less than a 1/3 of a cup of water. So we've got our ingredients laid out here, and we're going to start out with about 2 cups of whole wheat or all-purpose flour, about 1 3/4 cups of whole wheat flour, a teaspoon of salt. We'll use a 1/2 cup of the sourdough starter that we've already fed, and 1 1/2 cups of water. So we're simply going to combine our flours together, add in the salt, and then just stir it in a little bit to get it all combined. We take about a 1/2 cup of the starter, and again, she has been feeding for between 3 and 6 hours. Today she's been feeding for 4 hours, so you can see some of those bubblies, meaning she's getting nice and fermented. And then I've got my water here. I'm just gonna mix it all in. Eventually you'll get to a point where you can roll your dough into a ball. And after that, we cover it up with a clean towel, or you could use plastic wrap, and I let it rest for anywhere between 6 to 18 hours, ideally between 8 to 12 hours. But the longer she rests, the more sour the dough becomes. My dough has been out overnight, so I put it in about 12 hours ago. I rolled it just very briefly, and you can see it's kind of sticky. It's sticking to the sides of the bowl, but that's okay. We're going to put it on a floured surface, and I have a mixture of just whole wheat flour and a little bit of wheat bran because it's really pretty when you do it like this. And I just flatten it out into a bit of a rectangle, and then just take corners and bring them in toward each other, and then tuck the sides under, and you've got a nice ball here. Next, you score the bread, and you can really do this in any pattern you'd like, but I like to do 3 quick scores, so here we go. And I'm using a serrated steak knife. How ironic, I know, but it gives a nice deep and quick score. I bake in a Dutch oven with the lid on, and it's important that you preheat your Dutch oven to get it nice and hot before you add your bread. Be very careful, as you saw, putting it in, and put the lid on for the first part of baking, because I don't have a convection oven, so by doing that, it traps the moisture in, and that's what gives you that really nice hard outer crust to the bread. And we're going to bake on 500 degrees for 30 minutes. Next, we take the lid off. She's looking pretty already, and honestly we could probably just go ahead and call it, but we can put her in the oven for about 5 more minutes on 450. That's what I normally do. And there she is. Isn't that beautiful? And really, it's so easy. Nobody will believe it, but once you do it a couple of times, you will get the hang of it, and you'll be eating delicious, fresh, homemade bread all the time. Enjoy, and let me know what you think.